see you, Norm. I'm Mark. Nice to see you. Okay. I'll kind of give them, I'm going to give you. You know, I mean, usually you can just tell guys are anxious to ask a question, or they'll look at you, kind of do that. I mean, never a problem, you know, in this setting, because nobody's out to kill somebody, so. Denise, I can't tell you how happy I am to see you. I think that's a marvelous jacket. You can go into any jungle whatsoever, and totally be camouflaged. Okay. Welcome to the NCAA tournament here in Columbus. Very glad everybody made it here safely. We've got our three players representing Iowa. Coach McCaffrey will join us in just a couple of minutes, but if you have questions for the players, please, if you do have a question, just find one of the microphones that we have very capable assistants holding. And if you would please direct your question directly. For example, don't say, guys, how do you feel? Just say, for example, Tyler, what's your sign? It's just that easy. So if you have a question, we'll start with whoever has the first one. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for coming. You guys are reporters. You're supposed to have questions. Tyler, what's the excitement level back home? I'll ask you the first question to get things going.
You know, we're all super excited. This is a huge opportunity for us, and, you know, something that we've been working towards, you know, since we ended our season last year. And so, you know, ever since we saw our name pop up on that screen, we've all just been excited to get to work. And, you know, I feel like we've, you know, put forth a good effort in terms of preparing for this game. And, you know, it's a huge stage for us all, so we're just super excited. We're blessed to be in this position, and, you know, I think we'll take full advantage of it.
Nicholas, do you guys feel like you've been given the attention you deserve with the season that you had, especially within the Big Ten?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we never get too concerned about attention or anything like that. I mean, obviously we have an opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament. That's something that we're grateful for, and we're looking forward to this opportunity to play against Cincinnati, and, you know, hope that we'll be here for a while.
It's Columbus. I know you knew that.
I did know that.
Jordan, your thoughts on just what the team is doing right now as far as what level you've been playing compared with the rest of the season?
Yeah, I feel like we're really prepared to play at this level, knowing coming from the Big Ten Conference and the type of teams we played against all year. We've played one of the hardest schedules in the country, and for us to be able to get on the stage, I think our past will prepare us for these moments. And I mean, we've played in Madison Square Garden, we've played in big stages already, so I know what we're capable of doing, and I think we all have that same mindset.
You mentioned that Big Ten schedule. It's particularly tough on the road. Do you feel like that eases once you get into a tournament setting where you have a neutral site like Columbus?
Yeah, definitely. Big Ten, I mean, we got 8 teams in the NCAA tournament this year, so that says a lot about what it's like day to day in the Big Ten. I mean, it's tough to even get a win at home against any Big Ten team. So traveling away games is going to prepare us for these neutral site games, and I think our team's always done pretty well against at neutral sites. So we're really looking forward until tomorrow.
Nice. All right. Any questions now? You guys ready? Go ahead.
The USA Today Network, Ohio. Jordan, obviously, besides this is a one-and-done situation, what is this week like compared to, say, a big week in January or February when you're in the Big Ten? I mean, what is there? Can you feel a difference about what you guys are going about this week?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just all a culmination of our entire work we put in since last April. I mean, it sucked last year. We had a season that no one expected, even us. The work we put in, we had a letdown, and we got to work last April. For us to have our name called last Sunday, it was really special because we know how hard we worked to get to this point, and we're just trying to make the most of it.
And Tyler, how about for you? Does this week feel different to you than opposed to a random week in the regular season, and in what way?
Yeah, definitely. I think the energy has been different. We're in kind of uncharted territory for myself and Jordan, at least. We haven't been to the tournament yet in our careers, and I speak for most of us when I say that. With the exception of Nicholas, but it's just been very exciting for us. Like when Jordan said, when we saw or heard our name called, on Sunday, we were all ecstatic, and once you got to work, it really just felt different, than the regular season, which it is. So, I think like the new energy, that comes along with the postseason to serve as well.
Tyler, over here. From what you've seen from the UC defense, how does that compare to anything else you guys have seen or played against this season?
They play a unique style of basketball. You don't see it too often. But just like we do in the regular season, we just gotta, watch film and scout and do the best that we can and trying to figure out what we can do to, try to, lessen the impact of what they do defensively. So, our coaches have done a great job of kind of putting together a game plan for us. We watched a ton of film. Like I said, they've scouted, to the best of their ability. So I feel like, after today, heading into tomorrow morning, we'll be, prepared for them.
Go ahead.
Jacob Myers with the Columbus Dispatch. Nick, I believe you're the only player on this roster that's been in the NCAA tournament with Iowa. Just what do you remember from that experience? And also, do you buy into the fact that, some people say to succeed in the tournament, you have to have tournament experience. Do you buy that at all?
I wouldn't say you necessarily have to have a tournament experience. I know a lot of guys on this team, it's the first time going to the NCAA tournament. But I think, there's certain things you need to be able to do in March that are going to be, keys to succeed and to advance. And, being able to execute late game under pressure, being able to stick to your defensive rules. I think those are more important things than necessarily having the experience. Obviously, this is a very unique atmosphere, but at the same time, a lot of these guys have been preparing for this moment their whole lives. This is why you come to Iowa. This is why you play at this level, is to play at this platform.
Go ahead over here.
For Tyler, Dan Hort from WLW in Cincinnati. I think I saw in an interview that you did sometime in the last few days that you may have played with or against Jaron Cumberland in high school. Can you elaborate and share some of those memories?
Yeah, we don't have a super close relationship or nothing like that, but I met him in Chicago at the Nike Global Games. I believe it was my junior year of high school. Someone other, and we played on the same team together. It was me, him, Miles Bridges, Cassius, Nick Ward, a couple other guys, but it was just kind of one of those all-star events. And he played really well. That's the first time I've seen him play. First time I met him, and from then I knew he'd be a really good player, which he is today. So that was the first time I've seen him play.
Anybody else? Everybody good? All right. You guys can take the rest of the day off. Thanks very much. McCaffrey will be here momentarily. Thank you. We'll just start with a general statement from Coach McCaffrey, and then we'll take your questions just as we did before. Coach?
We're just thrilled to have this opportunity. I'm very proud of our team. Tremendous respect for Cincinnati and the job that Mick Cronin has done there and the success that that team had. We played a long, grueling 20-game schedule in the Big Ten and accomplished a lot of great things. Proud of my guys and looking forward to playing tomorrow.
Anybody?
Coach, Justin Williams from The Athletic. Coach Cronin mentioned earlier this week that you guys are friends off the court. I'm curious how that relationship started and what it's like.
Well, it started many years ago, before he even got into this business. I was at Notre Dame, and he was a very young coach, and got to know him then. And over the years, obviously we crossed paths, but we spent a lot of time together at the Final Four a few years ago when my son Patrick was sick. That was the year when he was 13, was diagnosed with cancer. We have a lot of mutual friends, so we talk periodically, and so we're on the road. We spend time together, maybe go out to dinner, that type of thing. Just a coach that I have tremendous respect for. How he does it, I think he's a guy that has great respect for the game, and has had an interesting path to the success where he is. He grinded his way up, and that's kind of who he is. So I would say he's a dear friend in this business, and somebody that I have tremendous respect for.
Is it easier or more difficult to prepare for a coach that you know that well?
I think it's about the same, simply because we don't see a lot of teams in that league. We don't watch them as much. I kind of follow him because of my friendship with him, and hope he does well. But it wasn't until now that we really studied his program. I kind of know they defend, they rebound, they have a toughness about them that's somewhat unique. But I've been really impressed with how they share the basketball. Even with Cumberland shooting as many shots as he shoots, he gives it up easy. He's got 123 assists. So I think that's kind of the beauty of this tournament. You're playing teams that sort of know you but don't know you as well, because we're grinding so hard with a 20-game Big Ten schedule.
Coach, Rob McCurdy from the USA Today Network, Ohio. Obviously, the kids are excited and probably nervous and butterflies. You've been doing this a long time. This isn't your first rodeo. Do you still get nervous and amped up and butterflies for this weekend?
I don't get nervous coaching the game. I've done it so many times, but I understand and appreciate that this is different. And it should be. It's a tremendous accomplishment. Everybody wants to do well. Every coach, every player, every assistant coach who had that scout, you want to do the best you can. You want to help your team advance. We're all trying to do the same thing. So I'm understanding and respectful of that. We'll do everything we can to stay positive, because when you get out there, the critical thing is going to be able to, can you get to the next play? Because somebody's going to miss a shot, somebody's going to make a mistake, turn it over, forget an assignment. You want that to be obviously limited and not be a trend. Once it happens once, twice, three times, that can't happen when you get here. So I think our guys are mature enough and intelligent enough to understand that. And after what we've been through, get ready for it.
Everybody good? Go ahead.
Hey, Fran, sorry if you got asked this already, but Connor's had an interesting week. Just curious of how, as his father and as his coach in basketball, you've seen him juggle the baseball, basketball thing, and obviously it's got to be tough.
Chad, I was just incredibly impressed with him. We got up after, we lost to Michigan on Friday night, and I didn't really know that he was going to jump in a car and head up and play on Saturday. We got back in time to see him. He played Saturday, then he played a doubleheader Sunday, then he played Tuesday. He was at practice. He didn't miss any practices for us. And then to go 4 for 8 with 2 walks and 2 stolen bases and a couple doubles, I was really impressed that he was able to do that. But probably more so that he was academic All Big Ten while doing all of that. So just couldn't be more proud of him. And I remember, it seems like yesterday that he was thrilled to be out there in the layup lines when we're warming up in Tampa, 2008, and now he's playing. So it's really a proud moment.
Go ahead.
Jacob Myers with the Columbus Dispatch. In your experience entering this tournament, is there any different way you have to approach it when you win a lot of games coming into the tournament, or you're in a bit of a down spell coming in?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we've kind of done it both ways. I think you'd feel better if you came in riding a winning streak. It was a couple years ago, I know we were 6-6 and ended up 12-6 in the league and won our last 6 games in a row and felt really good. But I think you look at the body of work and you consistently analyze, where do we have to get better? Okay, if we didn't win, what could we have done differently? And then you're now shifting to a completely different team from a different league, but your preparation is very similar, very businesslike. Grind, watching film, get on the court and practice. This time of year, I think if you're going 2.5 hours in practice, you're crazy. So we scale back practice time, make sure we have fresh legs, but at the same time focus on the interesting or specific things that we have to do for that game.
Everybody good? Coach, thank you very much.
Okay,
Good
thank
luck.
you.
It's time for our Colgate questions, and again, if you would please, if you have a direct question for each player, that would be beneficial rather than saying what you guys think. For example, if you have a question for Rap, just say, Rap, what do you think about the rain? Something just like that. And of course, Coach Lingle will be joining us in just a few minutes. But if you have questions now for any of our three players, if you'd ask those, we would appreciate it.
Jacob Myers with the Columbus Dispatch. Jordan, there was a story circulating that you took an Uber to get here. Could you just go into detail about that whole experience?
Yeah, that wasn't true at all. Yeah, fake news.
You guys, I'll go right back to you, Jordan. You guys have obviously won a lot of games here down the stretch. How important do you think it is having confidence going up against an opponent like Tennessee and just coming into this tournament in general?
I think, it's a big key for us. The confidence is what keeps us going when we're on the court. So in order to make shots and things like that, you have to be confident. So I think it's a very big deal for us going into this game.
Rick Russo, WVLT, Knoxville, Tennessee. Rap, talk about dealing with Grant Williams and what kind of player you think he is.
Yeah, Grant Williams is a fantastic player. We've scouted him all week. Really strong guy, really great in the post, really good in the ducking situations. It's going to be a team effort. It's not going to be me or Dana or anyone else. It's going to be a team effort. He's an All-American, and we have a lot of respect for him, and we can't wait to play him.
Rob McCurdy, USA Today Network, Ohio. Jordan, just what's this week been like for you guys, and just how different is it than, say, a tough regular season stretch?
It's just been fun, for us to be able to make the tournament. It's just really a blessing for us. So, we're having as much fun as we can on this trip, while still trying to stay serious and, really compete during the tournament. So it's just been really fun for us.
Handle the nerves of this week and what's at stake?
I mean, honestly, we're really just trying to play free. We know that we're a really good team, and we're just trying to soak up the whole experience and just play with as much confidence as possible. So.
How are you able to do that? Do the Jedi mind trick to make yourself feel that way?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, just every day in practice. We know the type of team that we are, so there's really nothing to be nervous about. Honestly, I mean, we're playing in front of a bunch more people than we usually do at Cotterell Court. But I mean, that's really it. We're the same team. So.
Stephen Bailey with the Syracuse Post-Standard. Rap, I'm just curious, what's it like to be here? These last couple days in Columbus, what's just the experience been like taking in the magnitude?
Yeah, it's a surreal feeling. I could say that for all my teammates. Just being here, being somewhere close to home too, where my family can come out. Just being in a hotel, seeing the Colgate logo and all the March Madness logos. It's the stuff you grow up with. You turn on CBS when you're growing up. You see all the college games, and it's awesome to be a part of it. It's awesome. It's a blessing to be a part of it. But now that we're here, it's time for business, and we've got work to do. So.
Andrew Donovan from News Channel 9 in Syracuse. I was on campus on Monday, and this is all everybody's talking about. What do you say to all your friends and classmates and teachers, people that will be watching from home?
Just thank you. I mean, thank you for my professors for letting me come here. But in all seriousness, no, thank you so much. We know we're going to get a lot of good viewership back home around that area. We've been supported. We've been understood. And guys have really been, even coming out here, we have a lot of football players coming out here to support us. Just really, really thankful to them.
And one more question for me. Have you looked at 15 seeds from the past, Florida Gulf Coast, Middle Tennessee? Have you looked at their storylines and kind of figured out what their secret was?
Not necessarily looking in depth with it, but I know just looking at Middle Tennessee being Michigan State and just great upset stories, and it all could happen. Like Will said, we're playing free. We're not playing with nerves. We're really happy to be here, but we also know we earned our way here. It's not just a fluke that we're here. So we know we deserve to be here too. So.
Jordan, especially with Bone at the point, Tennessee likes to go fast and can speed it up. What's the key against that in trying maybe to slow them down?
I mean, our coach, they devised a good game plan for us. So basically, we're just gonna go in there and do what coach says. There's nothing new for us. We're just gonna go out there, play hard. They're another team just like us, so we're gonna go out there, play hard, and leave it all out on the court.
Jeff Bishop, WKXZ Radio. Will, you're the elder statesman of this group as far as wearing a Colgate uniform. What's been the difference this year and kind of the journey for you for 3 years to get to this point with this team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just shows that just every single day since I was a freshman, our whole team has just been putting in work, and we attracted guys like Jordan and Rav who are really good players, and I think during league play just started all coming together, and it's been really fun to be part of that.
You're the newcomer this year, the transfer that came in. How has it been fitting in with the team, and how is it that you've helped them get to this point?
Honestly, it just goes a testament to Coach and these two guys right here with all my teammates. I didn't know how I was going to fit in. I knew that, people told me they needed me here, and I could contribute, but they took me in. They they put their egos aside. They put their their stats aside. They're just like, we just need to win. We want to win. We want to make the tournament. And as it goes a testament to these two guys, they've been really humble. They've been really kind in taking me in. So I'm really appreciative for them.
Wes Rucker with 24/7 Sports. Jordan, I know that, as well as y'all shoot the three ball as a team, there's also the turnover numbers kind of are what they are, and they're pretty high. How paramount is it, how important is it to kind of keep the ball, to not let Tennessee get out and run by a team with that much athleticism? How important is it to kind of take care of the ball?
Yeah. So we've stressed that a lot in practice, the turnover margin and things like that. So, it's very important because they can get out and run and get a lot of easy points in transition and things like that. So basically what we're doing is just, planning on running good offense, moving the ball, and making sure that whenever we're rebounding, things like that, we can get defensive rebounds and offensive rebounds at the same time so they can't get out on easy runouts.
Steve Lehman, WTVF in Nashville. Rap, you mentioned watching this tournament when you were a kid. Back then, did you fill out brackets looking for the 15 seed or the Cinderella story, and what's it like being that team now?
Yeah, no, 100%. It's unimaginable. I remember just making all these brackets and always being wrong. My little brother would always beat me, just picking out random teams, and he always got all the upsets. But no, just being here. Obviously, I didn't make a bracket, but just being here, and it's such a surreal experience. Just knowing that you've got other kids watching our games on national TV, and just other kids that are like me, so.
Rap said he didn't make a bracket. Did either of you other guys make a bracket, and did you pick yourself if you did?
Nah. I've just gotten a bunch of pictures like, oh, Colgate, Sweet 16, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, it's just really fun to just see all my friends picking us, and so.
Yeah, same with me. Didn't make a bracket, but, I got two brothers. They both picked us to win the national championship, so it's good.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Mark Herman from Newsday in New York. This is for each of you. Following up on that, I'm sure you were all March Madness fans when you were kids. For each of you, what comes to mind? What's your favorite moment from watching this tournament?
My dad actually used to work for Newsday. I think the best part is just seeing our name everywhere, like seeing Colgate everywhere, and just like trying to show as much exposure about Colgate, because a lot of people don't really know that, and I feel like that's the best part.
When you were a kid.
When I was a kid. Just fill out the brackets, look in the newspaper, turn on Sports Center. That's honestly the best thing. So.
For me, honestly, I don't even remember a time. When I was younger, I was really into football. So, March Madness was just something I just turned on the TV and watched. Got to see on ESPN. Filled out a couple brackets when I was younger, but that's about it for me.
For me, I have definitely pretty memorable. My cousin played for Florida State when they won the ACC, so they went to the Big Dance a couple times. Went to the Sweet 16. They got knocked out by a good VCU team with Shaka Smart that year, I think. But yeah, growing up watching him, he was a big inspiration to me. He him playing well, winning the ACC, it's just inspiration for me because, you know, ACC is run by those two teams usually, and they were kind of the underdog that year. And actually, today's his birthday, so I'll give him a shout out. Happy birthday, David. David is Dokes.
Eric Malinowski, KXC Radio. Jordan, for you, I'm sure when basketball became serious in your life, you envisioned playing in the NCAA tournament, but was it kind of surreal, a kid from San Antonio representing a school from small Hamilton, New York?
Yeah, it's surreal still, you know, to this moment. Just growing up, when I, you know, decided to stop playing football in 9th grade and just decided to focus on basketball, thinking about making it to this moment was never really a thing. I never really thought I was even going to be able to have this experience, be able to be here with this wonderful group of guys with a great head coach and great assistant coaches and things like that. So this is something I could have never envisioned. You know, I'm blessed, really.
Joe Rexrode, excuse me, with the Tennessean. Jordan, can you go back? You were asked originally about this Uber. Can you elaborate on that? This is like a fake tweet.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
what was the reaction since then?
So yeah, I found out about it last night. My mother called me, and my mother called me, and she was like, "Wow," she's like, "I know if you would have missed this flight, that I know you would have picked up the phone and called me, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, Mom, you know, I'm in the hotel and things like that." So I had a lot of little messages like, "Hey, did you not make it? Like, wow, they left you, really? Like, that's crazy. After everything you've done." Like, people were telling me all this stuff, and it's funny, but yeah, it was just a fake tweet. It's pretty hysterical. So.
Just a question again for Jordan. I know that, you know, y'all shoot the three ball at a pretty high clip and have most of the season, especially the past couple months. In Tennessee, as good as it's been this season, has sometimes been vulnerable from there. Is that something you feel like y'all can take advantage of if you play your game?
Yeah, of course. I think everybody, you know, looking at this game says that, you know, if we can shoot the three ball well, that we'll have a good chance of winning this game. And, you know, that's our plan. You know, we're planning on hitting shots. We're planning on going in and making the right shots. So, you know, the three ball is going to be very important in this game, and hopefully we can knock down and come out with the win.
Anybody else? Terrific job by the players. Thank you very much. Coach Langle will join us here momentarily. Thank you. We will start off with a general statement from the coach about the status of his team and how he's feeling at this very exciting moment, and then we will take your questions just as we did before. Thank you. Coach?
I think the last week plus has been a really exciting time for us as I think back to when I was a first-time head coach 8 years ago. You know, I didn't necessarily think about winning championships, but what I wanted for the student athletes that we were going to coach is to have a chance to have the experiences that I was able to have as a student athlete. And I think that this group has, you know, embraced that. They've built on the work that a lot of other guys have done over the last handful of years. And what they've been able to achieve this year for our school and our program is really significant. So I'm extremely proud of their efforts over the course of this season and the off season. I know they're super excited to be here and for the opportunity that we have tomorrow afternoon.
Questions?
Rob McCurdy from the USA Today Network, Ohio. Obviously, the players are going to be nervous and amped and butterflies and all that. But how about you? How about you as a coach? How do you deal with it, and how do you keep your focus on the biggest game of your season?
For me, I don't really look at it like the biggest game of our season. For me, that you know, to the last 8 regular season games. If we were going to have a chance to do what the group set out to do, be regular season champions, we're going to have to win them all. And then obviously to get to this stage, to win 3 games in whatever it was, 8 or 9 or 10 days, I think those games are the ones that you are really concern yourself with the coach. Are we doing everything we can to prepare? Are you, in game making the adjustments that you need to? Here for this game, I don't think there's many people out there who are expecting us to win. So in so many ways, the pressure's off. I think what we're trying to do as a coaching staff is we have the good fortune of having been in our players' sneakers before. And so just trying to share with them, there's going to be some nerves. There's absolutely some excitement. When the ball goes up, it's a game. It's just a basketball game. So all this stuff that is new for them, hopefully we'll settle down early in the game and play the way we've played all season and give ourselves a chance to be really competitive.
Jeff Bishop, WKXZ Radio. Coach, for a lot of fans and young players, tomorrow will be the first time they see Colgate play on the national stage like this. What kind of feel do you want them to take away from the game after watching Colgate play? What do you want them to know about Colgate basketball after watching them in a game like this?
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. I hope that we're able to play, the way we've played all season. And for me, that's a group that really helps one another all the time. Again, their belief in themselves as individuals and the group as a whole is significant for me. I think on the offensive end, and that's been our better side of the ball all year, is that we really share the ball. That we've got a number of guys who can who are threats to make individual plays, but that we're at our best when the ball's moving and we're sharing the basketball inside and out. And so I think that's what I'm hopeful that our guys are able to do tomorrow afternoon for everybody watching.
Andrew Donovan from News Channel 9 in Syracuse. We're going to do an interview with Pat Moore in a little bit. A kid from Utica, went to Colgate, an alum, now coaching. What do you have to say about your assistant coach?
I'm thrilled to have him as part of our coaching staff. It was a joy to coach him as a player. Again, when you inherit a roster, you didn't recruit any of those guys, no matter where you are. And from day one, Patrick did everything possible to help build the program that we were trying to build. So for me, a big part of building a program was to try and find some continuity through the years, because I was fortunate enough to play and then coach at two programs, Penn and Temple, with great history and tradition. And a huge part of that experience for me was generational, that guys from the past were still a part of the program. So to have Pat now as part of our staff, I think it's evidence that exists for Colgate basketball, and I'm really proud of that.
Have you looked at any other 15 seeds in tournament history, Florida Gulf Coast, Middle Tennessee, Cinderella stories of the past for your own preparation, or have you discussed it with your players?
No, to be honest with you. I mean, I did go back and watch the Loyola Chicago game against Tennessee from last year, as well as other games. Again, we don't resemble many SEC teams. And so, as you try and find some ways to be competitive against a team like Tennessee, you do try and find some common games, some teams that maybe you can identify with how they play, how they manage the game, how they were able to stay competitive. But I haven't gone back into the history. I mean, I remember watching them as a kid, but I haven't gone back to study them in our preparation.
And I guess my last question is, I was on campus on Monday, and I asked this of your players. This is what everyone's talking about on campus. What do you say to the campus community watching at home?
Yeah, I'm really thankful. I'm thankful for everything they've done for us, especially in that tournament run. Our students were on spring break. The community came out, the campus community, the local Hamilton community. For me, it's what's really special about March Madness is that you're able to, when you're able to get here, so many people are excited for you and are able to join in the process. So to everybody back home, certainly thankful for everything they've done.
Wes Rucker with 24/7 Sports. Matt, when you look at a team like Tennessee, obviously without divulging your game plan, I'm sure you have no desire to do that, but how do you weigh maybe doing what it is that y'all do, that got y'all here versus trying to kind of maybe control tempo or do something to get them out of their game? Because you look at the stats and y'all seem to put the ball in the bucket too. So I'm guessing you wouldn't want to get out of your element and doing what you don't do normally.
Yeah, my son's 9 years old and he's a basketball junkie, so he was watching the ACC tournament, the SEC tournament, all the possible teams that we could play. And after Tennessee lost, he said, "Dad, we might play Tennessee, and here's what we should do: don't let any of their three leading scorers ever touch the ball, and we'll be good." So for everybody out there, that's our game plan. No, I think your point is dead accurate, right? You gotta, we've been at our best in transition, but if you try and go up and down and play transition basketball with, a team of their caliber, you're running a big risk. So, I think we've got to manage the game. When we haven't done well, it's kind of like when Tennessee hasn't done well. They lost the championship game. They turned it over, needlessly, you could say, a number of times. Some of the bigger games we've played, not that. Penn State, Syracuse, some of those games, not that they're quite the caliber of Tennessee, but we've turned the ball over. So you've got to manage the game. You've got to play within yourself, but while also doing what you've done all year long to have that success. So a couple little wrinkles here and there on both ends to try and help the guys with what Tennessee will be, but for the most part, you've got to try and go be who you are and play the best that you've played all year.
And I guess lastly, when you look at, last year around this time, y'all made a pretty good run in the postseason. Ran into Bucknell at the end of the thing there. When did you know that this team this season could be different? When did you know that this group of guys you had here could kind of reach this moment?
Sure, I felt really good about the roster that we were going to return. We were able to recruit Rappless as a transfer in the spring. There was some conversation that, we didn't know which direction it would go as far as him gaining immediate eligibility. But even without him, I felt like we could compete for a championship in our league. And then, when we did find out early in the season, that first game day, that he was going to be eligible after having had him in practice and worked with him, I thought we had a team of really legitimate size, not just for the Patriot League, but for any league. And I liked our skill and I liked our pieces. But you never know. You never know how the season's going to go, how that group is going to come together. Tucker Richardson as a freshman, we thought he'd be really good, but how he's been able to handle himself with the other guys and handle the game and grow up as a player and within the team. You never know as a coach how those things are going to go. But, going back to last season, I felt really good about the team that we would have coming back.
Steve Lehman, WTVF in Nashville. Matt, all three of your players said part of the joy for them growing up watching this tournament was the Cinderella, or finding the Colgate that could shock the bracket or shock the world. You've been there as a player before. Is there any lesson you take from kind of being that team and what it's like when the crowd gets behind you that you share with them or try to help them out tomorrow?
I mean, amongst other things, I think it's what makes March Madness so special is that, literally everybody stops what they're doing and turns on the TV or has it on the internet to see, who's doing well. And it can be a contagious thing. So we certainly, I wasn't able to be a part of a team that won as an underdog. We certainly fought hard, and that's something that we've talked to our guys about. Some of the things that we learned as student athletes, the guys on our staff who are able to do that. But I do think that's something that's an exciting part of the year. So when you're in their spot, they're dreaming about being one of those teams, and you certainly try and channel that energy to playing the best that you can.
All three of them also said they did not fill out a bracket, but a lot of their friends had Colgate advancing. Did you, or did you leave that to your son?
Somebody told me we're in the southern region. I had no idea. Once our name was announced, it was, I knew who we were playing. I knew the other teams that would be here. I couldn't even tell you all the teams that are still playing and who they're playing against or any of those things. I'm sure my son Luke, filled out his bracket, and hopefully he has Colgate winning at least a game or two. But it's a fun time of the year for a lot of people. As a coach, you're just trying to, again, do the best you can to help your guys perform at their optimal level.
Mark Wyman, WAT in Knoxville. Matt, you left no stone unturned in recruiting players to your program. Obviously, the recruiting footprint's bigger in Knoxville than Hamilton, but in a lot of ways, Tennessee is a group of unheralded, under-recruited, three-star below guys. Do you share any commonality with Coach Barnes in that aspect of trying to sell players to your program?
As I've studied this Tennessee team and talked to people across the country, if I could share any common traits with Coach Barnes as a basketball coach, I'd be really proud. I think the coach that he is, the job that he's done, not just at Tennessee, but everywhere he's been, is absolutely a footprint that I would like to follow in. This group of Tennessee guys, they're a throwback group. I mean, in today's day and age with all the analytics and everybody's, 3 and D, and like they just play really good basketball. They don't turn it over. I mean, I think they have the top 2 guys assist to turnover in the entire SEC on one team. Like that's unheard of. And I mean, they're so good at getting it into the paint, and again, they have such a good record because they don't ever beat themselves hardly. So you know, the recruiting part of it, yeah, we've had to recruit a lot of guys who didn't have a lot of other opportunities, just like maybe Tennessee, you know, doesn't have a roster full of McDonald's All-Americans, but yet is beating teams with them. So you know, in that way, I do think you're right that we've, you know, we don't necessarily, we have to find other ways to build our programs, and we're certainly really proud of that.
Stephen Bailey, the Syracuse Post-Standard. You mentioned drawing on your experience. I'm curious, when you think back to the starts of those games you played, what were you feeling like, and was there anything that helped you settle in?
Yeah, you're nervous, you're excited, there's a sense of energy. Again, our guys don't experience these things, press conferences with their names in front of them, and you know, this size of arena, and all the things that go into the NCAA tournament. So, you know, you're balancing enjoying the moment with, you know, getting yourself ready to play the best you've ever played. Seeing the ball go through the hoop helped me immeasurably. I mean, I remember we played Florida and Key Arena in Seattle, and we were able to make a couple shots early in the game. And, you know, I think there's nothing more that helps a team better than seeing the ball go through the hoop. Hopefully that can happen for us tomorrow afternoon.
Thank you, Coach. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Cincinnati follows at 11:30. Thank you.
lost him.
Before we get started, we need to, if you need satellite coordinates for the press conferences today, at this point, they are all going to be the same. So each will have Galaxy 17, transponder 20A, and the downlink frequency is 12086.5. V is in victory. Galaxy 17, transponder 20A, downlink frequency 12086.5. Joining us now, Cincinnati Bearcats players. And again, we ask that you specifically ask your question for one of the players instead of just saying you guys. If, for example, you say, Kane, my question for you, and follow. Just make it easier for our technical people to keep on track. We have a first question to open these festivities.
Rob McCurdy, USA Today Network, Ohio. Kane, how do you handle the excitement this week and the nerves, and what's your secret to get through a week that's bigger than any other week you're dealing with in the season to this point?
I think it's just wanting to play, keep playing. You know, that's what we keep in mind. It's not about just this week. We're trying to further our season, so that's what we keep in mind every day. We said today in practice we didn't come here to just play one game, so that's how we kind of stay on track and not get too excited, try to win a tournament.
Justin, how do you avoid the distractions that obviously come with a week like this with all the chatter that's out there?
Staying focused, you know, not even worrying about, you know, the things we see on social media and all the stuff that we see every day or the things that people talk about. Just making sure we stay focused and we stay as a team.
How hard is it to do that?
It's very hard, but at the end of the day, when you got big goals and, you know, big dreams to, you know, conquer and to get to, you know, that's where they go ahead and come down to.
With the Columbus Dispatch, Trevon, I think a lot of people around this area maybe haven't seen you guys play since that first game. Just in what areas do you think you guys have grown most since the beginning of the season, that opener?
We've grown, I mean, all areas, like in all aspects. From the first time we played Ohio State, we made a lot of changes, you know, individually and as a team. But I mean, in every area you could think of, you know, growing in basketball as a team, we like grew in those areas.
Trayvon, Justin Williams, The Athletic. Having a tournament like you did in Memphis and making the all-tournament team, what does that do for your confidence? What does that say for your development this season?
I mean, it's most definitely a confidence booster. I just got to keep my head focused, just keep the same focus I had when I was in Memphis, you know, and just keep playing hard and playing confident. I mean, I worked a lot of stuff that I did in Memphis. I mean, there was some constant like reps that I did over the summer and throughout the season, and I mean, I just got to keep doing what I was doing. You know, just keep staying focused. You know, focus on important things, and let the distractions go, and just stay confident, and it'll be fun.
Kane, you and Justin had a difficult senior day just as a team and everything. Did you guys get together after that game? Because obviously things have gone pretty well since then. Did you get together after that game and say, let's keep our senior day going?
Yes. You know, it was tough. It was a tough day, but you know, everybody have tough days. I'm pretty sure you guys have tough day in the office. So we just had to come back to the drawing board, and we had bigger goals in mind. You know, we didn't win that championship, but we knew we wanted to win another one. So Coach got on us about it and told us what we need to fix ourselves, and told us that we'd see them again in the championship. So we just worked our way to that and tried to take it game by game. And then once we got there, we just, as a team, we stayed focused and mentally was locked in. So I think that was the biggest change after that game, was just our mental focus.
For you, I mean,
well, to piggyback on what he said, you know, just, you know, after that game, it was a rough day we had that day, but, you know, we can't just dwell on that game. You know, we had other games we had to prepare for, and, you know, the conference tournament was coming up, so, you know, that was a big stage for us, you know, coming from our senior night, not having, you know, like you said, a good game. So, you know, we had a bigger goal to get, and we conquered it.
Justin, coming into your senior campaign, March Madness, looking at your first competitor here, Iowa, hopefully the first of many, looking at the Iowa Hawkeyes, how do you match up against their backcourt?
Following the scouting report, you know, we always go ahead and come together as a team, and we always go ahead and follow the scouting report. And we feel as though if we go ahead and follow the scouting report and play Bearcat defense and have Bearcat toughness, we know we can get the win. And that's what we did when we played Houston. And I think if we play just like we did against Houston and we keep that going, we can't be stopped.
Trayvon, it seems you're down the stretch. You've really picked up your game, attacking the boards and all that. I don't know what anything particular clicked for you, or just sense of urgency. You're a junior. It's not like you're getting old, but you know.
I mean, honestly, I just want to win for real. I just want to win, and I know doing things like that will, especially rebounding, will help us win and elevate our team. And like me scoring will open up the floor for these guys also. So, I mean, I was just just trying to stay aggressive, offensively and showing what I can do. And also, I mean, I like playing with Justin and Kane. Like, this is their last year, so, like, whatever I got to do to keep our season alive so I can continue to play with these point guards, I'm going to do, so.
Did Jared express his disappointment about not coming out to the table with you guys?
No,
I didn't even see him.
He always shy.
Kane, talked about how hard it is winning here, even compared to playing at Sacred Heart. 3 years in a row that you guys gone to the tournament. I mean, these guys been 4 years, but has it gotten harder, easier? Are you more appreciative of it after all this time, or does it become more routine?
I think it's inner pressure that we've been putting on ourselves. Obviously, the last 9 years, I think we got here in a row. So there's more inner pressure now that we want to further our status here. The last few years has been rough coming out of the second round. So I think that's more so our pressure we've been putting on each other. Just let's be that team that make it. Coach has been telling us why can't you guys be those guys that further it. Especially me and Justin. We talked about it yesterday, and I think that's more so what it is than actual pressure of being at the tournament.
Jacob Myers with the Columbus Dispatch. Kane, I mean, there's a lot of talk just in March Madness. You need elite players to go on deep runs. What makes a player like Jaren so invaluable this time of year?
I think personally, I just think the way he gets fouled. Obviously it's big time games. The refs are gonna be on their whistle. So he has a knack for getting fouled. He's aggressive. Whether he's making shots or not. And I think that's going to be huge in this tournament. I think he's one of the best players in the country at getting fouled. So I think that in itself is going to help us in these games.
Justin, for you, just what type of atmosphere, crowd are you expecting being kind of close to home?
It's the same, basically like a home game. We call it, when they said we was in Columbus, we call it backyard basketball. So, having just all the fans, wanting to come, wanting to support us is just going to be a great atmosphere and, great energy for the game.
Elton Alexander, playing dealer. A little bit of a national question here. How did you guys handle your freshman, sophomore years in particular when it came to seeing what's going on around the country in terms of transferring? Am I going to stick this out? Do I need to look around? Did you look around? What got you to not do what so many other of your peers are doing and stay? And what did you see that made you want to stay as opposed to go? And did you even think about going?
Start with Kane.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys, so I can't hear the answer to that question.
I mean, just trusting the process. Even though, you come in as a freshman, you coming in thinking you can play all these minutes and stuff like that, and it don't happen that way. But sometimes you got to look at it and look in the mirror sometimes and know that it's you, that you got to work harder and you got to go ahead and step your game up. So and looking at the older guys and seeing what you need to do to go ahead to get better. So staying here, I feel as though was the best decision for me.
Anybody else?
I mean, you can talk about why you did it.
Well, mine was just different reasons. Like I had an interview with Justin earlier this week, and I just, as a kid, I wanted to play like tournaments like this. This is what you see on TV, and I was at a great institution, just at a lower level, and I just seen the opportunity to come be a part of something bigger than myself, and I just wanted to take that opportunity and do so, and I don't regret it because I'm here with my brothers right now, and I think to piggyback on with Justin, I haven't been here for 4 years, but I had ups and downs here, and I think more so is a brotherhood here. Even with the coaches, it's like a brotherhood. You know, we all stick together through tough times, and I think that's a real reason why Justin stayed too. Is he made friendships here, and it's bonds that you don't want to break. Like whether it's you playing or not, like it's a bond that you don't want to break.
I mean, I guess I'll say, well, I didn't transfer, but I mean, did I have those thoughts? I mean, at times I did, especially coming in as a freshman, expecting to play. Well, coming from high school, you know, being a man on your team, and coming here, then I redshirted. So I mean, it was tough. Like, but I mean, I didn't give up. I just thought about the players, you know, who did that before me and they're successful. Like, especially from the UC program, like Sean Kilpatrick. He was someone who, you know, I kind of like. I'm not gonna say look up to, but I mean, he was in the same situation as me, and I mean, he was successful. He redshirted. He was successful. He went through hard times, and I'm like, why can't I stick it out and go through hard times? You know, make something of it. And I mean, I like they said, you know, the friendships we made, the bonds we made with each other, and I mean, the program, like the history, you know, it's like coming from where I'm from. This, I mean, worldwide, the UC is a historic program. You know, a lot of great players come from here. So I mean, I just wanted to. I mean, I told myself, why can't I be another player who gets through, you know, this hard time and be successful? Like, so I stuck it out. I wanted to stick it out with my brothers. I wanted to be successful, and you know, it got me here to this point, talking on the stage with these guys and talking in front of you. So.
Very well done. Thank you guys very much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. We've got Coach Cronin coming up in just a couple of minutes. Thank you. Coach Cronin is with us, and we'll start with a statement about his team here in the tournament, and then follow that with your questions. Thank you.
Well, it's been obviously a whirlwind week for us, winning our conference title Sunday, and trying to put that to bed, get the guys refocused for this week. But we're obviously excited to be here. This is what it's all about. It's why we play the regular seasons, why we play our conference tournament, to get a chance to be on the big stage. Every kid growing up plays basketball, dreams of playing in this tournament. So we don't take it for granted. Try to make sure our guys enjoy it, embrace it, and most importantly, get ready to play tomorrow. So we're extremely excited to be here.
Coach Elton Alexander with the Plain Dealer, how you doing?
Hello, sir.
Two questions. How long was the bus ride, and how surprised were you to see, or did you think it was possible that you would be here in Columbus?
Bus ride was a little longer than it usually takes me to drive it in my car. So my last trip was downtown's really nice. My daughter plays club volleyball, so that's an all-day event. If anybody doesn't have a daughter that plays club volleyball, it's an all-day event. So I walked around in between games. A beautiful day last May. So I was at the convention center. So I got to see downtown. So and to be honest with you, my father's in charge of all that stuff. I didn't even know Columbus was a site. Glad to be here, though. I also don't know what region we're in. I know we play Iowa, and I know Tennessee plays Colgate. And I mean that, it's just we've been really busy, the last couple of weeks. And, like I said, right now my daughter's in club volleyball and got a lot going on. So, but Columbus is a great city. We're happy to be here.
Coach Ron McCurdy from USA Today Network, Ohio. How do you control the distractions? I mean, obviously, there's a lot goes on to this week, and how do you try to keep things as normal? I'm sure you want to keep things as normal as possible, but how do you go about doing that?
Yeah, I think it's a great point. I think you got to realize there's a game at 12 o'clock Friday, and that's really what matters. And you got to have your mind on that. So, Coach Knight said a long time ago, the mental's 4-to-1 to the physical. And if you don't have your mind in the right place, you're not going to be at your best. And you're going to have to be at your best for anybody to win games in this tournament. Everybody's obviously we play Iowa. Fran's a great coach, a good friend of mine. They got a great team. So we talk about it a lot. You try to you hope your veteran guys understand that. I think we've been through some distracting things this year with the opening of our arena. The crosstown shootout is always a distractive situation with all the talk that goes around it. So hopefully our guys will be able to be focused.
At this point, do you still get nervous yourself, and how do you temper that and handle that?
I don't know if I wouldn't say nervous. I would say excited. I think if you're not excited to do what you do, I think no matter if you're a basketball coach or you're reporting at USA Today, you probably need to try to change your job because you only live one time. And I'm getting a little bit older, so I really believe in that now. So you got to be excited about what you do and appreciate it. So yeah, not nervous, extremely blessed and excited to be here. I don't take it lightly. Don't take it for granted. Last time we played here, when did this building open? 2000. So we played here. So we were pulling in. My dad said, we finally played in a building you haven't played in. I said, you're wrong. My first NCAA tournament game in spring of 2004 with Murray State was here. So, and I didn't even remember that until we were pulling in the tunnel today. So, I was thinking back. I was riding in here with my former president, Dr. King Alexander is the president now at LSU, so I get a chance to say hi to him, thank him for hiring me. But just really excited and appreciative. Always nervous, and then when I watch Iowa make threes on film, I get a lot more nervous. You're welcome.
Jacob Myers with the Columbus Dispatch. I think there's some people around Columbus who probably haven't watched you guys since the opener against Ohio State. Just how much has this team grown since that opener, and how does that maybe compare to other years as well?
They don't watch Cincinnati up here? I'm teasing.
I think some people do.
No, I understand. You know, the answer is experience. We were very inexperienced in our roles. Cumberland had played, but he hadn't played the star. Kane Broom had played, but he hadn't, like really now he understands it. When Jaron's out of the game or he's getting rested, he's got to be aggressive. Justin Jennifer wasn't looking to shoot open shots whenever he could get them, and we weren't running things to get him open shots until this year. Obviously, the rest of our guys weren't really ever in the game. So last year we played in the NCAA tournament. Keith Williams and Nasir Brooks did not get in the game against Nevada, and they've been starters all year for us. So the only way to grow is to get experience. And I've tried to make sure I've injected that I believe in what they could become from the time we started spring workouts last year. I think it's important. If a kid, you have to make sure your guys know you believe in them. And then I tell them all the time, most important thing for young people, you got to believe in yourself. But you gain experience, and that helps you get better. And it's a hard thing for a guy for like a Nasir Brooks, the first time you're starting at this level, and to be as consistent as he and Trey Scott have been for us. So their growth as players is really the answer to your question.
And is that different to now entering March where they haven't had that? Jaron really came on at the end of last year at this stage, and maybe does that give you an added element that's almost like invaluable because some of those guys haven't had experience at this stage?
Tough to say. I mean, I would say of all the added elements and the things that may go on Friday, I'll take made shots over all that stuff. You can split atoms all you want, try to dissect what's going to happen. These games it's why it's called March Madness. Why it's the greatest event in sports in the world, because anything can happen, whether it's UMBC or what happened to us last year. Anything can happen at any time. So what we've talked about since the end of the regular season is playing in one and out environments, and that you have no margin for error, and you have to know that when you're tying your shoes to get ready for the tournament, that if you lose, you're out. And that was our mentality going to the conference tournament, and it worked well for us. So I think that you got to believe that you can win the tournament, or at some point in the game you may have to give up because you think, well, we're not going to win it anyway. So I think that the teams that have any advantage are the teams that think that they can win the whole tournament, and that if they don't win it, that they're not going to feel like they accomplished their goal. You might look at me and say, well, you guys are at Cincinnati or 7 seed, but I think that's the mentality. I don't want my guys ever walking around thinking that they can't win the tournament. We would, whether we're playing Iowa or whoever's number 1 in the country this week, I don't know.
Coach, 9th straight year for you here. Do you feel like it's gotten easier or harder?
I feel like I'm getting older. I think it's hard every year. I think that you should never underestimate how hard it is to win, and never take winning for granted. And I say that not because fans are always going to want more, but I think for the players, my thing is what they accomplished this year, I want them to know that they've done a great job. And although we expect it and we work extremely hard to sustain our success, you can't take it for granted. And you got to make sure that the people on your staff, the guys that come off the bench, our managers, that everybody's a part of it. And because everybody doesn't go to the tournament every year. We know this, right? So you have to appreciate it, and you have to make sure that everybody that's a part of it knows that they're contributing. And, probably getting better at that as I get older. It's definitely not a one-man band, I can promise you that.
How much of a dilemma is Iowa's grain-fed beef? They got some big dudes that you're going to have to combat.
How much of a dilemma is their strength?
They've got some big guys, 250 pounds plus. You guys are strong, but you don't have any 250-plus bodies.
Yeah, I don't know what Nas weighs, but I don't know. We're not in a sumo wrestling match. So, I think the games, how the game is called is big, important. I think footwork is important. I don't know how. I think you got to play smart. I think the games are usually called a little tighter starting today. And the games get real physical in conference play in February. So what we've talked about is making sure that we don't pick up cheap fouls, battling for offensive or defensive position in the low post, regardless of who they're battling against, whether it's Garza or Cook or whomever. Because I think it'll be a little bit different. I don't think it'll be quite the way conference games tend to get real physical late in the year. I think it'll be back to more free-flowing, and I don't want them guys getting cheap fouls in the low post early in the game.
We have time for one more question.
Hey, Coach. Chad Leistico, Des Moines Register in the back here.
Oh, hello, sir.
Hey, based on the numbers, looks like your rebounding is a priority for you guys, right? How do you balance that with Iowa's transition game in terms of crashing the offensive boards and your willingness to do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. We would never change that, I get asked that a lot by younger coaches and people to talk about, what's your theory on transition defense? It's called get back. And I have people, there's a lot of better coaches than me, and they rebound two guys and they run to certain spots. I work for Coach Huggins, will be in the Hall of Fame, and Rick Pitino. We rebound the ball. Obviously your point guard gets back. But with Iowa, I think the biggest key is you got to find shooters early, right? That's what you're alluding to. So you got to find shooters early with them. But we won't not rebound because of that. But if people do try to score on us, we're used to people trying to score on us in transition because our half-court defense can give people problems at times, and it's tended to be pretty good. So we're used to that, but it'll definitely be a challenge. But we won't not rebound because of that. Hopefully we won't have to. We'll make a few shots. It'd be nice.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Tennessee follows at 12:35. Thank you.
Testing.
As you can see, we have a record showing from Texas. I'm sorry, Tennessee. It's the good start. With Kyle, Admiral, and Jordan as well. So again, we ask that you direct your questions directly to the players, and we will remind everyone who's needing satellite coordinates that they are Galaxy 17, transponder 20A, downlink frequency is 12086.5. 12086.5. And we will start with your questions for Tennessee.
Kyle, just start with you. Since you weren't able to play against Loyola in the second round last year, just how does that give you more urgency? You think this time around? I mean, I know everybody's looking forward to it. Do you think you in particular are ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate last year that I didn't get to play in the second round, but it's I'm excited regardless. I'm a senior. This is my last year, and so I'm excited regardless. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to play.
Grant, how much do you guys think as a team you benefit from being through all this? Like, this is not the first time any of you guys have sat up there, on this stage. Not the first time you've, practiced, in an open arena. I mean, just the whole process. How much do you think you benefit from the experience?
We're definitely fortunate. We're blessed because not many people have the chance to do this once, and we're doing it twice. So we're ready for the challenge. We're capable of anything that's thrown at us, and we're just ready to get out there and play.
Admiral, how are you a better basketball player because of what happened last March? How it happened?
I would just say I'm more motivated, but also it gave me opportunity to go through NBA process, which I learned a lot about the game, a lot of things outside of the game that could help me for, this upcoming March. But the biggest thing is it really taught me how much I loved my teammates and missed my teammates, and it really gave me motivation towards doing something special in returning. So I think it made me better as far as being a leader and understanding what we want to get done as far as our goals. We've been in great positions this year to win championships. We haven't finished, but at the same time, we have a great opportunity to win another one this year.
In the back, Jordan, you mentioned that after Sunday's loss that it was going to stick with you, and obviously it hurt. How quickly were you able to flush that, and what was that process like to move forward quickly?
Like I mentioned, it's tough to get past a loss like that, especially being in similar situations with the same team, competing for a championship, and we failed against the same team twice. That's a hard pill to swallow, but I feel like, just being a mature team and understanding that we're in a good position because we do have more basketball left. We have another opportunity to go out there and compete. I feel like that kind of made it a little easier to get past those losses. Like I said, it was a hard pill to swallow because of the situation we were in, but we have another opportunity to go out there and do what we do. So I think that, like I said, it just shows the maturity of this team and the perspective that we have of this game.
Kyle, this group, this unit has been together for pretty much the past 3 years, but for you and Admiral, this is going to be your last run, and so this is going to be the last time that you all can go through this together. So, where's the sense of urgency for you, Admiral, and for all of you, to make this last run your best part of your season?
It's a good point you mentioned. Like, for me and Admiral, after this, after all this is done, we're done. We're seniors, and it's the end of the road. So, the urgency is there because we're not trying to have this end anytime soon. We're trying to be with this group as long as we can. So, there's definitely a sense of urgency there. And I wouldn't want to be here than the other group of guys because, you know, I love these guys. So.
Over here. Admiral Vince kind of already touched on that with Jordan, but you know, as you take what you take from that loss to Auburn, but when you come back to the tournament again, is there anything you change with your routine, your approach, knowing that you've been here, done that, in terms of the first weekend and all the buzz it gets?
Well, you can't change what got you here, and I mean, just because you lose doesn't mean what you did was the wrong thing as far as process-wise. It just means that you didn't execute in the moment. So for us, it's just being able to adjust as far as, you know, it's really win or go home at this point. And, you know, we want to have a lot more opportunities to be together and play with each other. So for us, it's just being locked in for 40 minutes and focusing on each game that's in front of us and not taking any opponent lightly, but also respecting the game and playing with the passion that we know we all have and the love that we all have and having fun out there. So for us, it's just really being locked in 100% collectively on a consistent basis every night, every film session, you know, really cherishing every moment that we have in the hotel rooms and, you know, the free time that we have, but also understanding we're here on business as well. And, you know, we're here to accomplish a main goal, and that's to win a national championship. But you can't do that without winning the first game and then, you know, the game after that. So we have to take it step by step and understand that this process is just like any other process. It's levels to it, it's steps to it, and we just got to understand that, you know, consistency and consistent buy-in and lock-in to the game plan and to each other is what's going to get it done this year.
Lamonte, how important was that SEC tournament for you in terms of gaining all that confidence back? And was there a point where it wavered down the stretch in the regular season?
I think whenever a shooter isn't making shots, your confidence wavers a little bit. But my teammates did a great job of keeping me up and making me realize that I do more than just score for us. So I just try to find another role, try to do other things to get me going. But as far as confidence, yeah, I think making shots and getting going in the tournament definitely helped me.
Jordan, just what do you remember about last year, the way it ended in Dallas? I mean, just, you know, how that felt, and you just kind of how I'm sure you guys thought you were going to be around longer than that first weekend.
Yeah, just a lot of pain, a lot of regret from that last game. I feel like, you know, this team still feels that. I mean, it's something we can look back on as motivation to not get that feeling again. But I feel like that was just the start of something special, honestly. You know, everything happens for a reason. So just having the right mindset, the right perspective of why things happen, I feel like that shows something about our group. It shows something about certain individuals, how they bounce back from that moment. But it's been tough, man. It's been tough, you know. Just moving on from that. But we have to use that to not get that feeling again. So we're just excited to play, and hopefully we can take this thing further than we did last year.
Grant, has it been a long week since Sunday and the way that ended? Have you guys been eager to get here and get going?
As competitors, we're just ready to play. That's how the team feels. We're ready to get going, but we're doing everything we can to prepare and just to understand that now it's a time where one and done, and you have to come with the right mindset every single day, every single game. And we've done a good job of staying focused, and we're locked in on our opponent. We understand what they do. We just have to go out and execute what the coaches have scheduled for us.
Anybody else? All right, thanks very much. Great job by the players, and Coach Barnes will join us momentarily. Thank you. Coach Rick Barnes, Tennessee. We'll take your questions after his opening statement, and a reminder that we do have a hard out on the satellite at 1:05. So if you'd have your questions ready, that'd be terrific. Coach?
Well, obviously we're excited for our program. We're excited for the university, and our players are excited to be back in this tournament again. It's something that you begin every basketball season with, hoping to be a part of what is really arguably the best sporting event in our country. We're again, our guys have worked hard, just like Colgate and all the other teams in this tournament. And if you're in it this time of year, it tells you that you've had success, whether start to finish, but certainly you've had success here at the end to get your way into the tournament, and we're excited to be a part of it.
Go ahead.
Rick, I know you've touched on it from time to time this season, but do you feel like this turnaround would have been possible without Kevin Punter being a part of this program your first year here?
You know what? I don't know how to answer that, other than the fact that I know he's a big part of what happened that first year, because when we went in, we wanted to establish a culture of the fact that a group of guys that were going to have a great work ethic, and he was the first guy that really, once we talked about how we saw that and what we thought that meant, he bought right into it. And I've said many times that I'll always be thankful and blessed that Kevin was there when we got there, because he went above and beyond. And then by what he was doing when Admiral came in, and then Kyle came in, and Lamonte, it just he was the leader of those guys. And when he left, those are the guys, along with our two walk-ons, Lucas and Brad, that have continued to build that culture. And then the next class with Grant and those guys were the ones that we just kept building.
Coach, just how much of a benefit is it to have everybody back from last year? It's not new for any of these guys, the attention, the hype, the pressure.
Well, it's a benefit that they understand that you take nothing for granted, that you understand at this time of year everybody can play, and I think they do understand that. I really do. And we've been through a lot this year as a team, and a lot of good things have happened, obviously, but you can say that about every team in this league. And but I'd like to see the fact that we've been here, but it only works for you if you make it work for you.
Coach, you've had this unit for pretty much the past 2 years, but go after this tournament's over, this team won't look the same. So I mean, have you started to sense some urgency from the guys, and maybe knowing that it's their last ride, that they need to actually go out on top, or at least as far as they can go?
Well, we start every year talking about that every year is a new team. I mean, this team is not the same team that we had a year ago this time, and you're right about it. But this time, again, we'll graduate some key guys to our program, not just guys that have had success on the basketball court, but guys that have really put a lot into building this program. And but they understand. I do think they understand it all, and I think they realize how difficult it is. They know that everybody can play, and but the fact is, I think most coaches this time of year would be surprised if their teams aren't excited and on edge, ready to play, and certainly hope that we're there.
Coach, just in preparing for Colgate, what concerns you? What jumps out about them?
Well, the fact that, one, they're a well-coached team, a team that they rely on the shooting the three, but yet they can do some other things. They have some size, they have length, they look to really try to take advantage of your help defense too. They can mix some defenses up with you, and there's no doubt they're going to pretty much pack it back in there, I'm sure, and hope that we settle early. And so they've won 11 in a row, which tells you that they played their way in it, starting way back before their tournament, and the way they're playing good basketball. And again, their length and the fact that they can shoot the ball, they're going to shoot it a lot from back there, so we're going to have to be able to guard the three-point line.
Coach, you've been through this tournament 24 times. I mean, that's a lot, obviously. And you mentioned not taking it for granted, but as a coach, what do you maybe not take for granted, or do you maybe change some things about your routine about this first weekend, given all the buzz that it creates?
Well, I think, one, you want to go with the formula that has gotten you here. I think is when you start doing things that maybe the players look at you differently and think that, I think coaches can get players too uptight. I do. I think coaches can also maybe let players get a little bit too loose. So I think the key is to be who you are and what's got your team here, and players be that. And but I think we all want to come into this tournament with energy. You know, you want to have the legs that you need to compete, the way you're going to have to compete each possession. But and there's no doubt early in my career, I think I probably got my team a little bit too uptight at times. But you know, we've had teams that just fought to get here was a great achievement in itself. And you know, when you're fighting, because it is something you don't take for granted, because you think about the 68 teams here, then the teams in the NIT, and if you're playing this time of year, one, you've got to feel good about it, because there's a lot of teams that took inventory early and aren't playing. But what you want to do, you don't want to look back when it's all said and done and not think that you gave it your best shot.
Coach, just Lamonte, do you feel like he kind of found his swagger back in Nashville with the big shot against Kentucky, and then, you know, had a nice game against Auburn?
Well, you know, he started making some shots, but what I hope he realizes, and I think he does now, I mean, he can affect a game whether he's scoring or not. And I will say this about him and the other guys on our team: when we're really locked in defensively, our offense flow is much better. We play that way. And what you don't want him to do is get back where he thinks he forgets about his defense, because he's affected games for us from the defensive end. But I do, again, he obviously shoots the ball better than when he went through that period there where he couldn't make a shot. And so we're glad that happened. But yet I want him to come into the game with the mindset that he's really had the last month of the season.
Anybody else? Very good. Thank you very much, Coach.
All right,
Good luck.
Thank you. Good to see you.